friends, this is Frederick sir here. In this particular module, I am going to explain the story of Bholi, written by Khwaja Ahmad Abbas, also known as A.K. Abbas, was an Indian film director, screenwriter, novelist, and a journalist in Urdu, Hindi, and English languages. He was born in 1914 in Panipat and died in 1987 in Mumbai. He wrote number of books. Among them are World in My Village, The 13th Victim, and Distant Dream. And also he was awarded the National Film Award for Best Feature Film. In this particular story, you need to find out why from her very childhood, Bholi was neglected at home. Why did her teacher take special interest in her? Did Bholi measure up to her teacher's expectation? The story revolves around a girl who, due to accidental fall and disease in her childhood, faces the problem of being dull and ugly. She is always a target by everyone for not being good looking and intelligent. Her life turns when she joins a nearby school where her teacher encourages her and helps her to become a learned and confident person. Later in the story, circumstances arise where Bholi has to give acceptance to the marriage with an unequal match but rejects it when she sees her father pleading to the bridegroom when he demands dowry. The story shows the rise of a girl against social injustice. Ramlal, the father of Bholi, was the Namrdar of the village. He had 4 daughters and 3 sons. All his children were very healthy, but his youngest daughter, Sukla or Bholi, was a backward child. When she was 10 months old, she fell down from the cot and a pan of her brain was damaged. When she was 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. Her face was permanently disfigured by deep black pock marks. She started speaking at the age of 5 years, but she stammered, so everyone called her Bholi. She was considered as a witless fool even by her parents, her sisters, and her brothers. None cared for her. Ramlal's eldest daughter, Radha, had already been married. The second daughter, Mangala's marriage had also been settled. Ramlal was worried only about Bholi. A primary school for girls was opened in the village. The Tahsildar Sahib came to perform its opening ceremony. He asked Ramlal to set an example before the village by sending his daughters to school. Both Ramlal and his wife were not in favor of girl education, but Ramlal had not the courage to disobey the Tahsildar. So they decided to send Bholi to school. The next day, Ramlal asked Bholi to go to school with him. Bholi did not know anything about school. She was frightened. She refused to go anywhere. Ramlal asked his wife to give some decent clothes to Bholi. New clothes had never been made for Holi, but that day she was lucky to receive a clean cloth. She was even bathed and oil was rubbed into her dry and matted hair. She thought that she was being taken to a place better than her house. When they reached the school, Bholi saw many girls of her age sitting in the rooms. The headmistress asked Bholi to sit down in a corner in one of the classrooms. The lady teacher in the class was very good. The teacher asked her about her name, but she could not speak her full name. She began to weep. When she noticed her, she smiled and asked her name. Bholi stammered, Bo, Bo, Bo. The girls laughed, but the teacher assured her. The teacher's voice was soft and soothing. She again asked to tell her name. It was not a command. All her life, she had never been called like that. The teacher persisted in her efforts to make her pronounce her full name without stammering. And she did succeed. Bholi pronounced Bholi. Even Bholi was surprised at how she was able to say it. When the school was off for the day, the teacher asked Bholi to come the next day and Bholi nodded. Bholi became familiar to the teacher. The teacher drove out her sense of fear. Now she began to speak without stumbling a little. Now Bholi was grown up. She had passed many classes. Her father got a marriage proposal for her from Bisambar, who was a rich grocer from the neighboring village. He was about 50 years old. He walked with limbs. He had children from his earlier wife. Ramlal accepted the proposal. Bisambar came with great pomp and show for the wedding. Everybody was joyful. All the friends and relatives of Ramlal and Bisambar were present there. Bholi dressed in red was brought there. When Bisambar was about to put the garland around Bholi's neck, a lady pulled back Bholi's veil. Bisambar saw Bholi's face covered with pock marks. He refused to marry her. After many requests, he agreed to put a condition that he would marry Bholi only when Ramlal would give him 5,000 rupees. Ramlal put the bundle of 5,000 rupees on Bisambar's feet. Bisambar was feeling victorious. He raised the garland to place it around the bride's neck, but Bholi struck the garland away. Bholi said that she would not marry such a mean, greedy and cowardly person. The bride was returned empty-handed without a bride. Ramlal was full of grief and shame. Bholi consoled her father that she would serve them in their old age, and she said that she would teach in the same school where she got the education. In this story, Bholi was the youngest of Ramlal's 4 daughters. She was considered just a simpleton. Her stammering made her a stock of laughter of children. Her pock marks had disfigured her badly. She had neither good looks nor intelligence. She was like a harmless dumb cow who did not know how to express herself properly. At birth, Bholi was very fair and pretty. When she fell off her coat, a part of her brain was damaged. When she was 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. Her eyes were saved, but deep black pock marks disfigured her. And Ramlal, her father, had a respectable position in the village. He had 4 daughters and 3 sons. He was a loving father. He sent his sons to the city for education. He searched for good bridegrooms for his 3 daughters. He was worried about his youngest daughter Bholi. He did not want to marry Bholi with December, who was almost of his age. He wanted to consult Bholi in this matter, but it seems that he was in wife's influence. Even in the end, he parted with 5,000 rupees for the sake of Bholi's happiness. Thus, he was a good father. And the lady teacher who taught Bholi's class was really an ideal teacher. She had all the mobility and maturity that are the hallmarks of her profession. She was kind hearted and understanding. She knew how to deal with a child of special needs like Bholi. With affection and tender love, the teacher dealt with the unfortunate child. She gave her a book of picture and hoped she would finish it within a month. She assured Bholi that one day she would be more learned than anybody else in the village. The teacher had all along stood in a corner during the wedding day of Bholi. She was watching the whole drama. She heard Bholi say that she would teach in the same school where she had learned so much. Bholi looked towards her confirmation. The teacher replied promptly, "Yes, Bholi, of course." But December Nath was a well-to-do grocer. He had a big shop. He had a house of his own and thousands of rupees in the bank. He was a widower. He had quite grown up children from his first wife. Bishambar was an unequal match for Bholi. He was almost of the age of her father. He limped too, but Bholi's parents thought him a good match for Bholi. He ignored his age and limping and accepted December's proposal of marriage. December Nath wanted to judge Bholi's parents with his wealth. He came with a large party of friends and relatives for the wedding. A brass band moved ahead, playing a popular film tone. December Nath showed his true color when he found that the bride had pockmarks on her face. He shamelessly demanded 5,000 rupees as dowry. But December was rightly punished and humiliated in the end. Bholi did the right thing by rejecting such a person. Thank you for your attention. If any doubt, you can clarify in the class.